It's time for an upcycle, some curtain upcycles. I've got two creative ways that I'm gonna rework some curtains in my home, as well as, hands down, the best curtain hanging hack ever. Check it out.
This is kind of a little awkward bar space hallway thing I have going in our house. I've kind of reworked the inside with some wallpaper and new fixtures. Kind of styled it up a little bit, but these open shelves underneath are just not gonna work. I'll be revamping this entire area, so I wanted a quick fix. I don't want to put cabinets on them. So what I'm going to do is use some tension rods and some curtains that I already have that are too short for the windows that they were on. I don't have enough fabric of the Kelly Wearstler fabric I wanted to use. So we're just gonna take these curtains, we're gonna feed them through the tension rods, and I'm gonna go ahead, even though they're way too long, I'm just going to insert them in front of each shelf so I can kind of get an idea of what they look like, and then I can trim down at least one of them to the correct length, and then I can pull them all off and cut them all to the right length. The set of curtains was too short for another room, and these are actually the ones I have in our bedroom, which I love. They're warm and they have that rich tone. The velvet is nice. So I thought, you know what, I'll just use these and cut them down, and I'll use the scrap fabric that comes off the bottom to make some big pillows with. And first thing I wanted to do before I cut them is actually put them on to make sure that I'm gonna like the way they look before I, slaughter the end of them. And I definitely love the way they look. They ruffle up. It's got like a very French vibe going. Seeing how the style of our house is a French revival, it's kind of fitting. Now that I've got them all on, I'm just gonna come through, push one all the way down and cut it right along the floor. That way I know I'll have one curtain that's the exact length I want. I could have measured with a tape measure, but again, I was gonna put them on anyway to make sure that I like them. Now that I have one cut the length I want, I'll pull it off, I'll lay it completely flat, and I'll cut it the bottom in a nice straight line. And you can use a little bit of hem tape, but honestly, this curtain is so thick that I cut the perfect straight line and it's not fraying at all. But if you want to hem it and you don't want to sew, you can just pick up at any craft store a heat bonded hem tape. DM me if you want me to give you a link. So after using the first curtain that I cut at the perfect length, I just use it as a pattern to cut the other three, and that's it. I've used something that I already have in my house that I wasn't going to use on other windows instead of buying something new, and these tension rods work perfectly inside these little shelves. Now I have to pull everything out that I have on the shelves and reorganize all my glassware. Hopefully that will help with a little bit of the cleanup and those exposed shelves that I really didn't like until I can do something more permanent with this space. And it's got that cozy little French country feel. Now the next thing I do with this space will be styling this right side with the prep sink into a really cool coffee bar. So that will be coming in the next couple of weeks. I think it turned out really cute. It does the trick, and it took me like 15 minutes. So that is not bad. Now let's talk about the same curtains in our bedroom. So when we first moved in, the curtains were hung pretty low. I left them like that because literally drilling into this Venetian plaster was ridiculous, and the curtains that were there kept falling out. So I had to find something that would really work, and these clips work. I tried them on a couple of other curtains and they hold so well. It's ridiculous, y'all. Dealing with the anchors in the plaster wall was just too much, but this adhesive on the back of these clips is amazing. And you know what? These come in all different colors. You don't have to do lucite. And I'm actually debating whether I'm just gonna touch these up with a little paint. I wasn't thinking about it when I first ordered them, although when they're up, you don't even see them. I already had measured where I wanted them and marked the wall with a little pencil. It's as easy as taking the backing off and popping them into place. The company that makes these does them in all different colors, so you can have your pick. Once you've got them in place, you just push down on them, and I just literally put the curtain rod in right away. You don't have to let them sit for a day or anything. You just pop it in. I have heavy velvet curtains. I actually ended up putting two on this curtain right here, so there's two actual panels on this now, and I'm telling you, they hold. It's awesome. So these are great clips. I will put them in my stories, and I will also, if you want the link, you can DM me. Let's talk about this awesome Anthropologie curtain that I think needs to be made into 2 king-size pillow shams. When you see a pattern on something that you like, you can make it into something else. So I just literally put my king-size pillows inside, folded it in half on each side, making sure that the pattern was the direction that I wanted it, and then cut directly down the middle. This is perfect amount to make 2 king-size pillow shams. I always cut my fabric a little oversized because you can always take away, but you can't add. So now that I've got my 2 pieces, fold it in half, the good side facing each other. You want the bad side facing up. before you put glue on or you sew. And then I just took a king size pillow sham and then I cut it down just a little bit more, leaving about 1 to 1.5 inches seam allowance on each side. And then once you've got it all cut the way you want, run either a little bit of fabric glue on the inside of your 2 edges, or you can do a straight stitch along your 2 edges, making sure that you leave the side open that you like the look of. I like the fringe on the end, so that's going to be the open side. Whether you do a straight stitch or fabric glue, once you get that done, you want to come through in your little corners, you want to cut just the corner off, because what that will end up doing when you turn your pillow right side out is it will make your corner be nice and pointed and lay flat. Just make sure you don't get the glue or the stitch when you trim it. I always find it so satisfying when you actually turn a pillow right side out after you've made it and you can see the fabric and the seams all come together. It's quite satisfying. And then you literally just side your king size pillows in it. That way, if you need to wash them, you can just pull them off like a regular pillowcase. You don't have to stitch it all together and put a zipper in. Nobody's got time for that. These don't really work with the rug in my room, but I am going to put them upstairs in the guest room, but I had to throw them on this bed until I get that guest room done, just so I could show you how cool they look. How fun is this? Remember, everything has multiple uses. You can make things that you like the pattern of into something else, not needing to know how to sew. You don't have to run out and buy a bunch of new stuff. So 2 little curtain DIYs and a little curtain hack. Happy upcycling.